I tried. I really tried. Hey, what's going on? So, I wanted to do a video very similar to the last video I did where I was comparing these two, or I was comparing the MPC Live with a vintage MPC. In that video, I was doing it with the 60. Kind of surprised by the results in terms of how close they were, but I was also not surprised with which one I chose. And I went to do it again today with 3K and the Live, and man, this live has been giving me so many problems today. This is the same one I borrowed from Illa J. Again, thank you, bro, for letting me borrow this. If you're not familiar with him, please check out some of his stuff. It is not represented at all by how finicky this live is. I hope I didn't break it. If I did, holler at me and I'll get you a new one. But so some of the issues I was having with this thing is the bottom 8 pads here were just constantly locked up. So what I had to do was build my song across the top 8. Cool, did that, went and cooked some dinner, came back, and then the top 8 pads were locked up. And then I only had access to the bottom 8. So I was like, okay, whatever that means. And I couldn't play the pads. I could play the pattern, but I couldn't play the pads. The pads just basically were constantly being pressed. And let me see if I can show you this right now. So, okay, so I eventually got it back. I mean, oh man, so much went into this. So basically, I got the pads back, but then I had to force turn off the live, and I didn't know how to force turn off the live by just pressing and holding the button forever. So I unplugged it, and it's not going to turn off. It has a built-in battery that lasts forever. So I'm just like, force turned it off, then it wouldn't turn on. And it wouldn't turn on, and it wouldn't turn on, and it wouldn't turn on. It would freeze on the screen. It would freeze right when it turns on. It would stay white. It stayed black. It stayed gray. And then eventually it kind of loaded and then stopped. I'll include some clips that I got on my cell phone at the end of this video in case you're curious about some of the things I was experiencing. Long story short, turned it off, went to a store, came back, turned it back on, kind of started working again, got everything back. It was freaking out. And the pads are still funky. So check this. If I go to, if I hit erase, let's see if it'll do it. Watch, it's going to work perfectly now that I'm recording. If I hit erase, of course. Yeah, of course it's working perfectly. So basically what I was doing before is I would hit erase and all these pads would start populating across multiple banks. And I don't want to do anything to maybe make it do that. So actually now that I have it, let me go ahead and go into the menu, go to my program edit. I'm like touching this thing so softly because I'm afraid it's going to stop working. And this is not good when you're making music to have to deal with all this stuff. I spent an hour and a half trying to get this thing to work. And I know in some cases people probably have amazing experiences with this thing, but I've tried multiple lives and they always kind of felt like a Hyundai to me. Like once in a while I would get a lemon, and oftentimes it would be a lemon. In this case it definitely is. But here, program edit. Let me go ahead and put the effects on here. Vintage 3000, select here. I didn't even do this because I was so scared that stuff was just gonna go haywire. Boom, boom. Once you kind of get used to this touchscreen, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best, as I say that. Come on. Okay, so very similar to last test where I sampled everything in from Ableton Live, took a little sample from Splice, took that sample, sped it up 2 octaves this time, not 1 because I can actually go down 2 octaves on the 3K, made a simple beat, and ran the test, and I'm here to see what you think sounds better. But really quick, before we get into the test, let me give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, DistroKid. I always love when DistroKid sponsors a video since it's something I've been using for years, even before I had this channel. On my few last releases, the solo releases I've done, I noticed I was able to use the hyperfollow feature. And what Hyperfollow is, it's a promotional tool that's completely free for anybody who uses DistroKid. And what it is a single link that leads to your music on all streaming services. So when you finish uploading your next EP or your album at DistroKid, you could start marketing your release and collecting pre-saves and followers on Spotify. But this is where it gets really tight. As soon as your release goes live, on the release date, your Hyperfollow page will automatically update to include links to all streaming services. And you're even able to edit your Hyperfollow page to include links to, I don't know, Bandcamp, merch pages, videos, whatever you want. And speaking of Bandcamp, I want to quickly mention that I love DistroKid for being non-exclusive. This means I can use DistroKid to get my music onto all streaming platforms, but I can still sell direct to true fans on places like Bandcamp. And lastly, your Hyperfollow link never changes, which means you never have to update your marketing copy or social media posts. So if you have DistroKid already, you could find your Hyperfollow link in the album page of your DistroKid stuff, or if you want to try DistroKid out, use the link down below to get a little discount. All right, back to the test. All right, so now on to the test. Let's see which one you choose. You ready? And... So which you pick, A, B? Well, the answers are, and there's a couple things I want to note. When I sampled these sounds in, everything was good level, nothing was clipping whatsoever, really simple, clean, the way I would expect to use these machines. I know you can push them and drive the inputs. Again, that was in my last test. The 3K and the 60 sound pretty similar. The 60 is a little harsher and beefier, but the 3K still sounds really good when you overdrive the samples. On this one, I made it super clean, the same way I would make music. But listen to this. Listen to the MPC Live. You can hear when the bass note and the sample play together, two samples, it distorts. But I'm not clipping anywhere. This is even the volume. Watch. Wait for it. Right here. Hear that? And then again. What's up? What's up with that? I don't even know why that's doing that. So if I go into pad mutes, I'll mute everything but the bass and the sample. Actually, you know what? I'll mute everything but the bass. Listen to the bass. It never clips. Now, let's mute that and listen to just the sample. It doesn't clip either. But then together, what's up? What the heck? This is so random. And if I were to do something like that here, let's just go ahead and copy this, and then I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'll just erase everything except those two sounds. It'll never clip. What's up? I really don't get it. There's a couple things that are just kind of funky with the live that I'm just not down with. I don't know. Like, if you've had amazing experiences with the live, awesome. Please let me know about them down below, because I would love to. I've tried this maybe like 4 times now to get with the live, and I just can't get with it, man. There's just a couple things in there that are just weird. The touchscreen, I just love the knob per function on the older ones. The MPC One, I have not tried. That might be a good one. I know the Force is kind of similar, but it's missing some of the MPC DNA. It's more of a Ableton standalone kind of controller. So if anything, I would suggest maybe the One, but I'm afraid to suggest that with what I've been experiencing on this live here. So on to the rest of the test. If you just want to hear the comparison of the sounds, let me go back to sequence 2 here. And let me see if I can flip that up for you. Actually, no, this will be better. So full level. Here's the kick. Actually, I want to hear what this sounds like pitched down. So if I go to menu, program, edit, Let's pitch it down an octave. Same thing here. Let's go down 2 octaves. Oh. I think the 3K just sounds a little bit more in my face. But I don't know. Hi-hat. Let's see which retains its bass. I've already tuned it down by 9 semitones. But let's go even further. Let's go to 24. Actually, that's way too low. What am I doing? This sound. We'll do kind of like the, oh, you know what I think is happening also? Yeah, I have it set to poly. It's like doubling up. Okay, and then the sample. So this sample is pitched up 2 octaves and then slowed down by 2 octaves. Honestly, not as much aliasing as I was expecting to hear, but it's probably because this is still 16-bit and I believe it's 44. I'm not sure, but I know on the 60 you do get that aliasing sound because it's only 12-bit. And then yeah, the sample normal, and then normal on this side as well. Go ahead and set this to. So. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of up in the air at this point to see which is really better. It's all, I don't know. It's kind of like up to you, I guess. To me, it comes down to workflow. I find myself so much faster on the MPC 3000. I've never spent an hour and a half on it just trying to get it to work. Maybe it's a firmware thing. Maybe they're kind of buggy. Again, if you've heard of anything different, please let me know down below. But yeah, this test was, I don't know, like if it comes down to the sound quality of stuff, they sound pretty good. They both sound really good. Anything sounds good. It doesn't really matter what you use as long as it sounds good. I've even thought about removing the 3K from my setup and seeing what I do without the 3K. Maybe put the DT back in here or the Octatrack. But I think I'm still dealing with some sort of weird internal block of like, I almost feel like the MPC holds power over me in the sense that, I mean, this is so weird and heady, and I always think of weird things like this, but I'm trying to overcome the fact that I think I identify myself as an MPC user, especially specifically an old school MPC user. And it's hard to break away from that. It's hard for me to, I mean, I'm good with it with everything else, with like the motorcycle, skateboarding, whatever. It's like, whatever, take it all. I don't care. But when it comes to my MPCs, I love them. But I think I attach myself and my ego too much to MPCs, especially the old school ones. So I think I just need to kind of go cold turkey, rip it out, see what happens, see what kind of music I make, and just explore new possibilities instead of being stuck into my old ways. But yeah, with that said, will I be getting to MPC Live? No, hell no. But yeah, anyway, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hearing me out. Sorry to make this all weird here at the end. And yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot, and I hope to see you again in the next one. And until then, share the love, share the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Peace. Please be good. The snare. Kind of tight though. Let me shorten that up. It's not that tight. It's kind of cool, but too loud. You want to hear my voice? Check this. There it is. That works. Anyway, peace. Like, look at this. These bottom pads are just staying lit up because they are basically broken. I don't know what happened. That's not a good sign on an MPC. An MPC is the pads. Like, check this. If I hold down menu and select something, they just start going haywire, and then the screen just starts like, what? And to continue that, because you don't have a hard power, you just have like this little button that doesn't allow me to turn the thing off. I'm just gonna unplug it. Oh, but it has a battery. You gotta be, oh my God. So how the hell do you turn this thing off? I have never in my life experienced this many problems with an MPC, and I have 5 of them. I don't even know what this thing's doing anymore. Come on, Bloodline, give me some good news. Your father's waiting. Dude, what is up? Hello? Is anybody in there? Windows? Linux? I'm gonna start over. Oh, it's loading something. Wait, what? Shutting down? Oh my. You're joking, right? This is a joke, a joke, a joke, a joke, a joke, a joke, a joke.